Tell us, ladies, what do you wish your husband would do more of in a relationship? There were some psychologists, and they happened to be male, and they said, we think we know what women want in relationships, but let's just go to the people who are really living it and ask them what they want. And women answered. So we want to hear from you, 800-682-1075.
Is it more deep pics then?
No. It's not at all.
More sexy time.
No, not at all. Something that has to do with sexy time. But the biggest one that women say they wish that their husband would do more of, fart in another room.
I'm on board with that.
Yes. They say you have no idea how many times he comes home. And this is according to a lot of women, so a lot of opinions. He comes home, has no problem changing out of his work clothes or wherever he was, and then farts a big fart to signify that he's home. No, thank you. No, thank you.
That's the number one thing?
Not the number one thing, but one of the things. One of the things, yeah.
Okay, well, I thought some women would think, okay, he feels closer to me now to be able to do that.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. And women, for the most part, I think a lot of male things are funny, but a Dutch oven ain't one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not. You don't think it's funny when it's happening to you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. But so imagine.
Retrospectively, it's funny. Yeah. After the smell's gone, it's funny.
Yeah. I said I worked with 2, but I'm thinking maybe 3. I did lump you in there, Jared. Do you not? You don't Dutch oven?
I don't fart in front of anybody.
Ever? You've never, ever Dutch oven?
Only by accident.
You've never been driving down the road and locked all the windows and let one rip?
No, but I remember being this guy in college, one of my friends was driving, and he did the same thing. He called it the buttercup.
He's
like, all I just remember his hand was cupped under my nose. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't even see him do it.
Disgusting.
I was like, I could have wrecked.
Yeah, that makes me
disgusting.
I don't fart. I don't fart. I could have died.
I could have wrecked.
I would have been wrecked.
Could have dropped my croissant.
No, I don't fart in front of my brothers.
Okay, well, so that's true. I'll take you out of it. But Jason, you do the Dutch oven?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've had it on occasion, but I don't like it myself when Carol does it. I hate it. So I can imagine that that's one of the things women don't like either. Although sometimes there's laughter. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm thinking, do they really not want it? And that
sometimes
because there's laughter to it because it can be funny and it's less serious. But I don't know.
I think the risk of overdoing it is high. Like if you're constantly doing that all the time and have no regard, then it's like, could you please go somewhere else?
Then you start being viewed as gross.
Yes. Yeah. So every
I'm
once
paying
in a while.
attention to this.
All right. These are, according to women, the things that they wish their husbands would do more of in their relationship. And if you have something that you wish, 800-682-1075. Women say...
It's probably hard for women to come up with things they wish for more of because we're doing it so well.
Especially our women.
Jason.
Right, Jason?
Men are so perfect.
Yeah.
Don't. If we...
Even my ex-wives would not be able to come up with one thing.
You want to find out?
Sure.
Okay, 800-682-1075.
If you're one of my 14 ex-wives...
Call us and let us know. What did you wish Jared would do more of?
Jared may have court documents that
They're like, stop being so awesome. I'm like, I can't help it. Sometimes they're overwhelmed.
He's not in charge of the phones anymore. Matt will just put us straight through.
We have to divorce. I can't keep up with his greatness.
It can be overwhelming to the senses.
Right. Well, women say stop assuming that your wife has it handled.
Oh, I never assumed that.
This is definitely something in my own relationship that we struggle with a little bit. That it's like, well, how did you think it got done?
Right.
How did you think that all the school supplies just showed up?
Right.
How did you think that we just have groceries in the fridge? It's like little things like that. Doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, haircuts, blah. You name it. I think a lot of men, and I'm not bashing men, but this is just according to women, where guys will be like, "Oh, she'll take care of that." It's like the default parent.
That kind of makes though you confident and trust that that your wife is handling a lot of things. Maybe you would think it would be more of appreciation for that. That would help.
I think as long as you acknowledge it to her and you say, "I see what you're doing.
Yes.
I know what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing." Not just she'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Right. Or do you want me to? Or it may have clearly defined things like I do this, you do that. Do you need help with this?
But there's still, I think, that appreciation factor.
It's a big one. Oh, thanks for taking him to the doctor out. I was at work and I couldn't go, or I'm at work during doctor's normal hours, or whatever it is.
Because there's certain things my wife takes care of like that, and I don't even think about. But then I do the same thing with other aspects of it. Yeah, so it's a give and take.
And a lot of times, if you show appreciation and you don't get it back, that can be hurtful too.
It could be very, and it could build resentment. Like, what, does anybody know what I do around here? I mean, I definitely think that there is some of that in our relationship, but then I need to do a better job of acknowledging the things that he does.
Yeah, you
like
could
he'll
be
take the kids to the pool
Yeah.
while I take a nap, and that is very valuable to me. So it's, I mean, it is like to be able to come, come home, take
rest.
a nap, and then he's able to do. That's a big thing.
So he takes him, and then the nanny watches him at the pool, and he plays golf. As long as he takes him to point A,
Sure.
I think that's good.
I didn't cause any problems in your relationship. I'm
Yeah, you
not
did.
sure
I
why.
actually
I'm
blame
not
you for
sure
both my
why.
divorces.
Of course
Yeah.
you do. I'm not sure why you're. No, he does. He does. I do not praise him enough.
Because you're home more than he is. You probably do more.
Which is
at
the
home.
most unfair part of this job.
Right.
It is the most
It's unfair. It is.
that people,
Yep.
every person you meet says, must be nice to be home by 1 o'clock every day. And I'm like, excuse me. I have been awake since 3.
Right.
And I have already worked a full-time job.
Exactly.
With no lunch break, by the way. We don't get that
No.
hour lunch break that most people get.
Yeah.
We just get lunch on the way home or whatever. And then I've done my full day of work. Your 9 to 5 is over for me at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I have to resume all the other things.
Everything else.
And that's where the doctor's appointments come in, the dentist, like everything else happens between those hours.
And then most of us are going to bed at the same time the people that work 9 to 5.
Right.
Well,
Right.
women just want to be appreciated more and
That's
probably
right.
should show it.
Wow.
I don't know who you are
champion
since
of
you've
women.
been back, but
Me
I
and
like
Carol
it.
had a good time and on vacation last. Changes my perspective. a little.
Really?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
sexy time, right?
Nice.
Well, it's the first time you went on vacation without 40 other friends. So
Yeah.
I've been pushing that for a long time. I want you to go YouTube.
My God.
what can happen?
Real quick, let's go to Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what do you wish your husband would do more of in your relationship?
Just be more social and more spontaneous. All he wants to do is just be at home and, mow the lawn.
Oh.
I hear that a lot. In fact, recently one of our couples like, you know what? Can you invite this person because he seems to not want to do anything anymore and he's not getting out and this and that. And he just to hang. And sometimes I think that women will feel like they have to make all the plans. I feel like I'm like,
Sure.
I check in with my wife. What's our calendar this weekend socially?
Yeah, women, I think, definitely take the role of social planner for sure. Like, and if you have kids, again, you absolutely do with the play dates and the birthday parties and all the other things. So,
Right. Yeah. I think that's right for the most part.
Yeah,
That was
he
never the
doesn't
case.
really.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to do anything. He doesn't really like to be around my friends. He doesn't really like people, and I'm very sociable, so that's kind of a big damper.
has it been that way your whole marriage, or has he changed?
He's kind of changed. He got burned by a friend, and unfortunately, that just made him not want to be around anybody anymore.
How long have you been
I
married
love
for?
to be around friends and people.
How long have you been?
We've only been married for about 4 years.
4? And it's already that drastic of a difference of change?
Yeah, I think it's just because of his long-term friendship. It just really just messed him up where he doesn't want to be around anybody or doesn't want to be making any more friends than he has to.
I hate to say this, not in a negative way whatsoever, but have you gone to counseling together? Because it might make him more aware, and that seems like a perfect case scenario of going to counseling could actually help him.
Yeah, I've told him he just needs to try and venture out a little bit more, and I've told him he needs to kind of resolve that on his own, his trust issues, I guess, with people.
Tell him this. This will help, okay? Tell him this. Say, people who died last night
Oh, gosh.
Oh, here we
had
go.
plans for this morning. People that died this morning had plans for tonight.
Right.
He's going to die.
Okay.
So is he want to
We
die
all will.
sitting in his house, or he wants to actually live? I'm a big believer, though, seriously, in not just simply existing.
No, you can't.
You
but
have to
yes,
live.
But we've all
We've all been
fallen
there.
into that.
Absolutely.
Yes, we've all fallen into it when you're just like the daily grind of
Yeah.
like all the things that have to be done.
You're not living, you're just existing.
You know what the funny part is? When my parents got divorced, that was one of the, I think a big reason is that my mom wanted more, my dad to be social and take initiative of the plans and stuff like that. And he didn't. And he's just not like that. And he's not built like that. But he had a lot of other positive aspects, I think, that, are overlooked at times. So sometimes I know women want more of, and it's fine. And maybe we can at least it makes us aware of these things. But at the same time, there is also sometimes a lot of good aspects that it's just not that person's thing.
You get so focused on the one negative that you overlook all the 95% that's great.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think women should say what they want more of, and maybe I think guys can too.
Well, I think you're going to like this next one. More women than you would ever imagine say, I wish my husband in our relationship would show more affection. Some women say, I want him to come home and grab my butt.
Nice.
I was going to jokingly say that. They want their butt grab more. Here we are.
Here we are, yeah. Some women say, when we first started dating, we were all over each other, the lust, and we couldn't help ourselves, and then time goes on.
Kids
and then,
come.
And I think we're guilty of this sometimes, where it's like, well, I know that I can do it whenever I want.
Right.
So if it's not happening right now in this moment, it will later on. But like, what if we're always thinking that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it becomes then it could be you could have a sexless marriage.
Yes.
Or affectionless marriage.
It could end up being that way. So a lot of women, and I guess you probably have to talk about this. I mean, right? Unless you just go home and start being handsy with her.
Yeah, and they're like, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
That would be weird if you don't do it, and then all of a sudden I think you have to work your way into it.
When you go to couple, have you ever been to couples counseling?
We've never been to couples.
I have been to couples counseling before, and that is part of what comes out. It's what the other person wants and needs that you might not realize and whatnot, and then it usually in the middle of the session turns into a huge argument. But at least it makes you aware of what women or men want more. But in this case, women.
We're just not communicating it, because it feels awkward. When are you supposed to bring that up? Over dinner with your kids?
That's true. And how many times have you heard people like, I feel like he's just a roommate or she's just a roommate?
Right.
It's because you get so busy with life, the things you have to do with bills and jobs and running around that. You're not even thinking like oh, I want to just be a roommate with this person, but because you get busy, so you have to I think have dedicated thought and time to that type of thing.
Yeah, 100%. And then finally, things that women say that they wish their husbands would do more of during the day. There's so many good ones, but stop keeping score. Wow,
women do that.
A couple of the wives, see what I'm saying? Tit for tat. Tit for tat. A lot of the women will say, my husband probably right now, if you could call him, would say, oh, I know exactly how many diapers I changed. That's what women are saying.
Oh.
And they're like, you don't want to get into this. You don't want to get into this argument.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I changed 5 last night, or I took the trash out yesterday, or all the, okay, well, you want to hear all the things I've done? I think that women are saying.
No, not really.
You don't.
Don't want to hear it.
You don't.
I want to tell you what I've done, but I don't want to hear what you've
It's a fight you're probably not going to win. So a lot of women are saying, stop keeping score. It's a partnership, and we have to help each other out.
And I think sometimes, too, when you do have defined roles as far as like, all right, I'm going to be in charge of the yard. You're going to be in charge of the laundry. I'm going to be in charge of the taking out the trash. But you can also cross-train.
Yes, you can.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're saying, I don't do the laundry, and they do laundry, and you just mowed the yard maybe, but the laundry's done, you can put it over into the dryer, but you're like, that's not my thing.
Yes.
I've definitely been guilty of that because you're just so used to, I did my thing.
I did my thing.
You can do
Check
your
it
thing
off.
instead of just like, we all just help each other.
What happens, and I'm sure a lot of women probably feel like this, that those types of things, it's lopsided. Like they feel as though they are doing way more of those things than their partner.
Yeah, and it's just like, again, with the assume that she has it handled. I said to my husband the other day, and he does a lot of, Ben does, I would say, 99.9% of the laundry. He just does.
That's crazy.
He does, I know. And so, I'm not always appreciative of that, but I will be the first to be like, hey, have you ever used the toilet brush scrubber ever? Ever? And he'll say, nope. When's the last time you did the laundry? And I'm like, all right, got it. I got it.
Scorekeeping.
It's scorekeeping, but it's like, you're right. It is, but it's also my failure to appreciate the fact that the laundry it's
laundry's
eye-opening.
The worst thing.
Yes.
And it's never ending.
Right.
So, I mean, a lot of stuff's never ending, but laundry to me, I hate it more than anything.
I will start a load of laundry and I will start the dishwasher. But if I have to fold or I have to empty,
hanging up laundry and folding it, don't want to.
Definitely rather do the dishwasher than the laundry.
Oh
Same.
My God.
It has to do with understanding women's clothes. That's the big problem. I don't know
goes.
what it is, how to hang it, where it goes. Does it get wrinkled? Does it go in the dry? I don't know what it is. Is this a sock or is this a top? I don't know.
I just tell Ben, don't dry anything of mine. Nothing. Don't ever put it in the dryer.
That's what I do.
Nothing. Yes.
Oh,
nothing.
really?
I won't dry any of Hannah's clothing.
Just to make sure.
Oh, wow. That's a that's a hack.
Yeah.
I know that was with sweaters and stuff, but I guess there's other things. Because,
Yeah.
and I will
It's
say
like a
this.
T-shirt, though, you would.
No.
Depends on the shirt.
Oh
Depends
my
on the shirt.
gosh.
Wow.
That's scary. And in fact, I was going to say that now that I have a girl, 6-year-old
Yeah.
girl, it's even more confusing because sometimes I don't know which one's Carol's and which one's hers. I'm like, is this one of her slutty outfits? Or is this supposed to go on Everly?
Or just a 6-year-old outfit.
Slutty Carol or Everly at school? I don't know.
Two very, Carol hasn't bought new clothes since the first grade. It works for Jason. So
Yeah, just get you a drying rack.
Especially
and,
now that this Barbie thing's on. Barbie
Oh.
could be for her or it could be for her. And
So true.
Yep.